Children, now we move ahead to the next topic of your lesson, towards independence and partition. Now, as we are heading towards partition and independence, we'll see some of the challenges which took place. Now, in 1940, the Muslim League moved a resolution demanding that they wanted an independent state for the Muslims in the country. And where did they want? In the northwestern part, that is Pakistan here, and this is Bangladesh, you can see there in the eastern areas of the country. They wanted these two areas to be independently ruled by the Muslims. Okay, but they did not mention partition at that time in 1940, but they wanted an independent state. So this was one of the biggest challenges. Now, why did the League ask for an independent setup for the Muslims? Let's look into it. Children, will now look into why the Muslim League began to have a separate independent state for the Muslims. Now they decided that they wanted a separate nation from the Hindus. They did not want to be mixed with the other people in the country. They wanted a separate country or state for themselves. Now, why? What were the reasons? First reason, we can say that they were influenced by the history of tensions that took place between 1920 and 1930. Now, this seed of communalism, the seed of difference between Hindus and Muslims, and was the famous policy of the British. This seed of communalism was actually sowed by the British, and they had constantly been telling the Muslims that you will always be a minority and you will never get a representation in the country. So listening to all this, when somebody tells you constantly something again and again, you start believing it. So that's how they started believing that they needed to have a separate country for themselves. The second reason, if you can see, when the provisional elections of 1937 took place, in that election we saw that the Congress won in 7 out of the 11 provinces, and the Muslim League hardly could win any seats. Even in the reserved constituencies of the Muslim League, they lost there. So they now started believing that they would not get any representation in the government that would be formed by the Congress party. And then they also approached the Congress leaders that since they have lost, let us have a joint government. That means a coalition government. Okay, in Uttar Pradesh, in United Provinces is Uttar Pradesh presently, but the Congress rejected this proposal of having a joint government or a coalition government, and this annoyed the Muslim League. Reason that we see where the Muslim League wanted a separate nation was that, if you remember, in the non-cooperation movement, the Congress party had addressed the Khilafat movement and addressed the Muslim issues, but in the civil disobedience movement, that is the Salt March, it was for the general public, and no specific issues of the Muslims were addressed. So now the Muslim Leagues thought that the Congress leaders were not supporting them, and then even after the civil disobedience, many Congress leaders were put into jail, so they could not do much for the Muslims, and that led to a divide between the Hindus and Muslims. And even the Muslim masses thought, yes, that we must support this communal party, that is the Muslim League, because they are in minority, and even with we get our independence, the Congress leaders who are Hindu in majority will not give us any representation in the government and will always remain second fiddle to them. So that is when they started believing that they needed another nation. So now, after the Second World War got over, the Muslim League kept demanding for a separate nation. That is where we call it as a two-nation theory. The Muslim League said that they are the only ones who speak up for the Indian Muslims, but the Congress did not accept this. Says no, it is not right that you are saying that you are the only one who speak up for the Indian Muslims. We also have Muslim leaders and great Muslim leaders in our party who work for the Muslims. You are not the only one. Leaders like Maulana Abdul Kalam, all these were Muslim leaders working for the Congress. So this failed to unite each other. This failed to unite a Muslim League in Congress, and that's when the division for partition started increasing. Children, by now, Britishers realized that it's time to give independence to India. So, in 1946, provincial elections, that means elections in the states, were announced, and again elections took place. Once it was done in 1937, where you saw Congress won in 7 out of the 11 province constituencies, and but the Muslim leagues did not perform well at that time, even in the reserved constituencies. Now, in this election, we see Congress did very well in all the general constituencies, and but the Muslim League did very well in the reserved constituencies, which were reserved for the Muslims only, Muslim voters. So this, what was the outcome of this election? Now the Muslim League believed that the Muslims were on their side, and they persisted on their demand for a separate nation called Pakistan. So this added more fuel to the fire. Says, okay, now then, since we have won the reserved constituencies, that means all the Muslims in our country want a separate nation, Pakistan. So they persisted on their demands for another nation. Children, we see now the country was heading towards a communal divide between Hindus and Muslims, and the partition seemed inevitable. That means not avoidable, unavoidable. It will happen because none of the Congress nor the Muslim League were agreeing on terms. So the Britishers also looked into it, and they had already decided that they would give independence to India. So to give it in a smooth manner, they made attempts to solve this problem of communalism that had developed in India between Hindus and Muslims. So they sent a commission comprising of 3 members to India to solve the problem and suggest a suitable framework for free India, so that after independence there would be not much problem and they continued to rule properly. So in March 1946, the British cabinet sent a 3-member mission to Delhi to examine what the demands of the Muslim League were and for what the Congress were, and to suggest a suitable framework for free India, how the country is going to run. So just to help them out, they came to India to make it a very smooth transition. So they made the suggestion. First suggestion that they made was that the India should remain united. There should be no partition, and even if partition was, then they could also give certain amount of freedom of independence to the Muslim areas, that is the northwestern part, which is Pakistan now, and eastern part, which is Bangladesh now. Give them some at autonomy. Autonomy means some independence, but yet they should remain together. But although the Congress agreed to many of the things and they believed that they should remain united, but the Muslim leagues did not agree to it. So both of them did not agree. In fact, the Congress decided that they should be remain united but not give freedom to the Muslim majority areas. All of them should work together. So both of them did not agree to this proposal that was given by the cabinet mission, and eventually it was leading towards Pakistan. Children, after the failure of the cabinet mission, as I told you earlier, cabinet mission was sent by the British government to finalize the suitable framework for the country and see that the country remains united rather than going in for a partition. But both the Congress and the Muslim League disagreed on it, and now it was seen that partition was not avoidable, inevitable. It was inevitable means it was unavoidable. So once the mission failed, the Muslim League decided on a mass agitation for winning its Pakistan demand. So it says whether the British government gives us or not, or the Congress agrees or not, we will demand for our a separate country, Pakistan. So on 16th August 1946, it was decided as a direct action day. It says we will take direct action and we demand for it. And once this declared this as a direct action day, riots broke out in Calcutta, which lasted for several days, resulting in deaths of thousands of people. And by March 1947, this violence spread to different parts of North India. Many 100,000 people were killed, and numerous women had to face brutalities during this Pakistan. Billions were forced to flee from their homes. Now, the Indians were not. One thing was good. India never forced the Muslims to go to Pakistan. If they want to go, they would go willingly. But in Pakistan, the Hindus were brutally treated. In fact, harassed that they should now leave or they were killed. and they had to say, in order to save their lives, they were all now crossing the borders wanting to come to India. So that was the difference in that when the partition happened. And so many had to flee their homes, especially the Hindus had to leave all their property and come to India in order to save their lives. And so the partition meant that India changed, and many of its cities changed because of these refugees which were coming in. And a new country, Pakistan, was born. Okay. So you see, children, even though we got our independence from the British, but this feeling was a very mixed feeling. It was a pain that many of them had to leave the country, and they were brutally killed and harassed, and they had to leave everything and run away from there. There was violence and killing and bloodshed, and that led to and also, even after independence, what happened to our country? It was partitioned into two parts, and two countries were born, India and Pakistan.